Today on CFTK-TV, Canada is preparing to combat against U.S. tariffs. Chrystia Freeland's campaign speech sees a number of undercover protesters, and hostages are now being released in Israel and Palestine. Hello, I'm Damian Smith, and thank you for joining us here on CFTK-TV. We begin today with the news from down south, where Donald Trump was sworn in as the 47th President of the United States. Serving his second term, his speech clocked in at about 31 minutes. Here are some of the comments addressing borders and international relations for the United States. Among other things, Trump also prepared a January 6th pardon list from 2021, where the president called it a day of love, and he could issue pardons for almost 700 of those who rioted. Additionally, Trump said that California should have been a win for him in this past election, and that he plans to take back the Panama Canal as well. Now, BC citizens have until 4 p.m. on Saturday until all the tallies will be finished. From Terrace, I'm Damian Smith. Good news for those near the Central Coast, where an announcement recently came from the BC provincial government declaring that yet another area of the province now has access to high-speed internet.
And I got a chance to speak to Jelena Salcedo, the site supervisor of the tour, who has been on the road since the tour's start in mid-May.
To meet international needs, criminal drug organizations are becoming more and more common around Canada. In fact, these organized crime groups have more than doubled since the year of 2023, leaving more resources need to locate these undercover operations. And Adrian Gabriel of CTV News has more on this global report.
Canada Post has stated that they have offered an 11.5% pay increase over 4 years, along with additional pay leave, a defined benefit pension, and job security provisions. And whether producer or consumer, small businesses will be affected by this strike, with Black Friday 2 weeks from now, along with Christmas just 6 weeks away.
Welcome back. Well, just this past weekend, Chrystia Freeland made a sizable appearance for the Liberal Party as she looks to continue her campaign, and her speech had quite a number of interruptions. Colton Prale from CTV News has more back in Ottawa.
The women captured their first ever title since joining in 2022 with a 31-5 win over the Rocky Mountain Rogues, and the men got back on top with a revenge game against the Rogues after eliminating them last year in the semifinals.
And from surprises to snubs, movies up for Hollywood's top prize were announced yesterday, where musicals led the way with the most nominations, and some Canadians also made the cut. CTV's Kathy Lee has the details for our final story of the day.
With the opening of the building to the public this past Friday, this settlement hits close to home for at least a few of the speakers.
In the city, I grew up in Toronto, a great big city. And I found out only years later that the place that we got to was the only shelter that was available in a city that size. And thank God it was there.
And for those who are parking around the premises of the hospital, make sure to monitor how long you are parking in your spot for, because bylaw officers have been in the area giving out tickets. From CFTK-TV in Terrace, I'm Damian Smith. Welcome back to our final segment. While ongoing developments are continuing in Gaza and Israel, as hostages on both sides are now being released. Heather Wright from CTV News is now in the area, witnessing the changes that are moving rather quickly. Now, the demolition of the hospital should be happening sometime in early 2025, and the parking should become available for those who are visiting, those who are patients, and those who work there. A recent report from the Prince Rupert Port Authority revealed that a total of 23.1 million tons of cargo made its way through the Prince Rupert Port in 2024, although that number was actually a decrease from 2023, albeit a very slight one of only 1%. The report also said that performance was impacted by several factors, like a pair of labor disruptions, carriers' trans-Pacific trade routes being realigned, and a rail service suspension that occurred due to a wildfire.
And it saw many come for International Overdose Awareness Day. Perspectives were contentious, with eye-opening takes on how the day should be treated going forward, since it was officially created in 2001, and how locally Terrace and British Columbia should handle drug treatment.
That'll be all for tonight's cast. Thank you very much for tuning in, and have a good night.